European Media Art Platform is a network of 11 cultural institutions and organizations that annually offer production grants to emerging new media artists from Europe. The collaboration builds on the legacy of the European Media Artists in Residence Exchange, EMAP program, which this year celebrates 25 years of activity. With the support of the Creative Europe program of the European Union, over the years EMAP has evolved into the biggest international residency platform for emerging media artists. Even though EMAP's principal mission is offering artist residencies and ensuring quality conditions for the production of new works of art, the distribution and presentation of these works in different countries, contexts and circumstances is just as vital, which is why the 4-year program also includes curated group exhibitions of works produced within the platform. The group exhibition, organized by KONTEJNER in collaboration with UR Institut and Art workshop Lazareti, offers a selection of 6 artworks that were produced within the platform from 2018 until today. Profusely detailed and vastly imaginative, these works conceptualize the frail balance of cohabitation of living beings on Earth. Inspired on the one hand by later scientific research and the imaginings of posthuman subjectivity, as well as political and ethical assessments about the future on the other, these works frequently venture into exciting and experimental theories. Armed with the potential for social transformation, they deliver an effective impact on their audience and encourage discussion. The selected works provide an overview of all relevant topics of contemporary life on Earth.
The Eye of the Other 3, On Flowers, created by Daniela Mitterberger and Tiziano Derme, deals with the translating the sensory spectrum of a species of bats that register space as auditory information. After registering sound frequencies, the artists translate them into visual information visible to the human eye. By means of this translation, the artists problematize the fundamental lack of comprehension stemming from different sensory capacities, but likewise suggest the possibility of surpassing it via this conversion, obliging us to contemplate human limitations and to exceed our abilities. While humans distinguish fruit from foliage visually, via their ability to discriminate red and green acquired through local biological evolution, bats do not rely on the primacy of the visual sense. Specifically, nectar-feeding bats find flowers by sorting the environment, using visual and sonar information. They can recognize the geometry of a single flower by generating so-called echo fingerprints. The eye of the other translates these fingerprints into audible frequencies and visual, sensual patterns comprehensible to human senses.
Aqua Forensic is an ongoing science and art project, started in 2018 and developed by Robertina Šabjanić, new media artist from Slovenia, and I, in Dubrovnik, Linz, and Slovenia. It was produced under the framework of EMAP network by Ars Electronica, UR Institut from Dubrovnik, that I'm running, and also Project Atoll from Slovenia. The project focuses on exploring pharmaceutical effect on microorganisms in waters. We explored not pharmaceutical waste, but consumed pharmaceuticals that we consume daily and release through our bodies in wastewaters, and these minor small quantities have negative effect on microorganisms that the whole ecosystem relies on. They are the starting point of the whole life on Earth. This type of pollutants are invisible, we can't see them with naked eye, and they are like totally unexplored. We are just beginning to understand them. So through this project, which combines science and art, we hope to open the doors to further exploration and development of solutions. Behind me you can see the installation that was a result of the residency in Ars Electronica in 2018. It brings these like small moments of exposure of microorganisms to pharmaceuticals through holographic videos. We also produce several other art outputs and science paper that we hope to release these days. Aqua Forensic was extended this year in the whole program and a separate garden that you can visit as a part of Ars Electronica Festival. It is called Adriatic Garden. It connects Dubrovnik, Slovenia and Linz and extends on this topic. It brings you workshops, round tables and audio installations and new pieces that you can check on the web pages.
The nature of the body in the posthuman age is the topic of the project Transplant, an Onco mouse journey, created by nomadic laboratory Chimera Rossa. By subjecting themselves to the complex process of intravenously injecting chlorophyll into the human body,
perhaps it's not about questioning what we do in our lives, but what we do within life.
Chimera Rossa endeavor to bring human beings and plants closer together, and employing their own bodies, attempt to demonstrate the artificiality of the division between humans and nature and the vast negative consequence of this divide. Since the process of which the plants breathe is inverse to that of humans, injecting chlorophyll is a form of harsh self-punishment. But it also initiates a discussion about the taboo topic of identity and the status of beings.
My will is not becoming more human, but less human. It's not really a desire to become a plant, but a desire of an hybridation with plants. To become with, transitioning together. May the chlorophyll be within you.
Anna Dimitriou and Alex May offer up their answer to the issue of pollution by envisioning the ultimate species for the end of the world. Unlike Aqua Forensics and Stranger to the Trees, which are the result of research of the negative impact of modern life on the environment, Archaeabot is a cybernetic vision of the future. Archaeabot is a reference to Archaea, a microorganism believed to be the oldest life form on Earth, now situated within the age of singularity when the capacity for computers far outperforms the human intellect. Even though we still have a way to go until 2045, the year Ray Kurzweil predicts computers will take over, Dimitriou and May have designed a prototype that is, just like the primal life forms, dependent on the sea, the foundation of that primordial soup. The project is based on the latest research about Archaea, ancient microorganisms that are now considered to be one of the three domains of life. They originally evolved near hot, deep sea vents when the Earth was still in the process of cooling down. Some species are highly acid tolerant, feed on methane, and can live without oxygen. They will be ideally suited to the hot, acid rain polluted future that humans are in the process of creating.
So this work, which I'm showing here, it's part of the series called Subocean Spotlights, and it departs from the fact that most of the intercontinental communication relies heavily on submarine fiber optic cables. Or in fact, most of the information nowadays is being transmitted as light in these vast infrastructure networks. And so in this network, which carries threads of light as thin as tenth of human hair, the light is becoming as existential to our technological societies as sun is for the plants. So in a way, we are hanging by a thread while the artificial sun rays plunge through the ocean floors and light up our faces via bright screens. And so this work more specifically is called Waiting for the Light, and this work introduces baits into these vast networks and lures in light from different parts of the globe. And so these Wardian cases, which contain the plant, and they act as miniature closed ecosystems, but they also act as nodes or islands in this vast network between objects, otherwise known also as the internet. And so any device connected to this vast network becomes automatically a target for automated processes whose agenda is non-transparent and therefore unknown. And so each of these containers, these plants, because they are nodes in this vast network, they become objects of interest to these robots or automated processes. And each act of communication towards the specific plant is being transformed to a burst of growth light, in a way giving these robots an agenda they are unaware of. It's up to these automated processes to sustain the life of these plants.
Human impact on the environment, like pollution, is also the topic of Kat Austin's latest work, Stranger to the Trees. Specifically focusing on microplastics, she approaches the topic through research and the exploration of the outskirts of human reach. By examining microplastics and carbon traces in the atmosphere and their impact on the forest vegetation, the project builds on an ongoing artistic research focusing on the coexistence of birch trees with microplastics. The birch is a pioneer species, colonizing land disrupted by humans, following human and industrial pollution. It is not demanding of the soil. Birch withstands both full sunlight and low temperatures. These characteristics define the birch as a perfect pioneer in the platysphere. The artistic research focuses on birch groves in forests between Berlin, Germany, and Warsaw, Poland, and includes microscopy and histology of tree parts, field recordings of audio and video from forests, where microplastic and trees cohabit to examine the incorporation and rejection between plastics and trees, with the constant consideration of the possibility for complementary and coexistence. This silhouette animation shown at the Quarantine exhibition is one part of a multimedia installation.